the Lion and the Cunning Hare, how bravery defeated the king of the jungle. Once upon a time, in the heart of the African savannah, there was a mighty lion named Simba. Simba was not just any lion, he was the self-proclaimed king of the jungle. With his powerful roar and sharp claws, he ruled over the animals with cruelty and fear. Every day, Simba would remind the other animals of his strength, demanding that they bring him a portion of their food. Those who dared to refuse would face his wrath. One day, as Simba stood atop a large rock, surveying his kingdom, he roared loudly, "From today onwards, every animal must bring me a portion of their food. Fail to do so, and you'll face my wrath." The animals trembled with fear. How could they survive if Simba took their food? An old tortoise named Tycho, wise and slow, bravely stepped forward. "But King Simba," Tycho said humbly, "we barely have enough to feed our families. Taking our food will cause great suffering." Simba snarled, "Silence. My word is law. Now, obey or be prepared to suffer the consequences." The animals exchanged worried glances and slowly dispersed, their hearts heavy with despair. In a small burrow under a mango tree, a clever hare named Tiamu sat deep in thought. He had been listening to the murmurs of distress from the other animals, and he knew something had to be done. "This has gone on long enough," Tiamu said to himself. "Simba's tyranny must end." Determined, Tiamu gathered a group of animals, including Tycho the tortoise, Zara the zebra, and Baiko the monkey, to discuss a plan. As they sat under the shade of the acacia tree, Tiamu began to speak. "Friends, we cannot let Simba continue to terrorize us. We must stand up to him." Zara, the zebra, looked doubtful. "But Tiamu, how can we possibly stand up to Simba? He's too powerful." Tiamu smiled slyly. "Strength isn't everything, my friends. Sometimes, a little cunning can defeat even the mightiest of foes." The animals leaned in closer as Tiamu whispered his plan. As he explained, their faces lit up with hope and excitement. The next morning, Tiamu set his plan into motion. He approached Simba's den, his small feet barely making a sound on the dusty ground. Simba, with his golden mane and piercing eyes, eyed the little hare with disdain. "What brings you here, little hare? Have you come to surrender your food?" Tiamu pretended to be panicked. "Oh, mighty King Simba, I bring urgent news. There's another lion in the jungle claiming to be stronger and more powerful than you. He says he's the true king." Simba's eyes narrowed, and he let out a low growl. "What nonsense is this? No one is stronger than me. Where is this impostor?" Tiamu pointed in the direction of the old Irako tree. "He resides by the deep well near the old Irako tree. He challenged you to meet him at noon to prove who is the true king." Simba's anger flared. "Very well. I will show this fool who rules this jungle." With that, Simba marched off towards the well, determined to confront the so-called rival. As Simba approached the well, he looked around but saw no one. Frustrated, he shouted, "Where are you, coward? Show yourself." From a distance, Tiamu called out, "He's inside the well, your majesty. Hiding from your greatness." Simba, now even more enraged, stomped over to the well and peered inside. What he saw was his own reflection in the water, but in his fury, he mistook it for another lion. Roaring with rage, Simba shouted, "How dare you challenge me?" His echo returned the roar, making Simba believe that the other lion was mocking him. "I'll teach you a lesson," he snarled. Without thinking, Simba leaped into the well to attack his rival, but instead of finding another lion, he found himself splashing in the cold, deep water, struggling to stay afloat. "Help! Help me!" Simba cried out, his once powerful voice now trembling with fear. The other animals, who had been hiding nearby, emerged from their hiding spots and gathered around the well. Baiko the monkey, peering down into the well, shouted, "Simba, you brought this upon yourself with your arrogance and cruelty." Tycho, the wise old tortoise, nodded solemnly. "Perhaps now you'll understand that true leadership comes from kindness and justice." Simba, desperate and humbled, begged, "Please, help me. I promise to change." TMU looked at the others and then nodded. Together, they lowered a long vine into the well. Simba grabbed it tightly, and with much effort, the animals pulled him out. The once mighty lion lay on the ground, drenched and defeated. Breathless and shaken, Simba looked up at the animals who had saved him. "Thank you," he whispered. "I realize now how wrong I've been. From this day forward, I vow to protect and serve the jungle fairly." TMU smiled and said gently, "Remember, Simba, a true king earns respect through kindness, not fear." The animals cheered, and harmony was restored to the jungle. True to his word, Simba became a just and noble leader, ruling with fairness and wisdom, with TMU as his trusted advisor. Under Simba's new rule, the jungle flourished, and the animals lived in peace. And so, through bravery and cunning, a small hare taught the mighty lion the true meaning of leadership. From that day on, the animals of the jungle remembered that wisdom and courage could triumph over even the greatest of tyrants. The end. Follow at Riaprita on YouTube for more African folktales. Drop your comments, like and subscribe.